Hi, it's Wasabi. Welcome back to the channel. Got a battle on the Westfield map with Pyro from 1ER clan, and he's in the VZ55. We had this in the game channel a couple of battles ago. Tier 10 Czech heavy tank. But he's got the top gun, which is an autoloader, which is different from the previous game we showed. And he's loaded for bear. He's got 2 marks on his gun, so I assume he's going for his 3rd mark. Now, it's got 8 degrees of gun depression, not fantastic, but it's certainly decent. And he puts a shot into the SU-130PM and unfortunately misses the 2nd shot. Now, it's got pretty decent DPM. It's fairly quick reload because it's only 2 shells, but the premium shell that he's using has got a pen of 306, a bit low for a tier 10 heavy tank, but nonetheless this is in a tier 8 to tier 10 game. Oh, we missed the M4 and then just bounced off the top of it. He may regret that later on in the game, but anyway, we'll see how this plays out. It's got a T56 in front of him. He's using sort of commander's view, which gives you a sort of view over the top, and you can tell that the Skoda is pointing that way. Now it finally puts 2 hits into the M4, but he's sort of missed 2 shells, so hopefully that's not going to be a pattern. Right, we noticed a Fock 155 to his right. You just got to be careful he's not exposing himself to the Fock, but assume the Fock will get spotted. Alright, now nicely puts a shot into the Skoda, keeps hold of his 2nd shot. It's definitely not that worth reloading between rounds as it is in perhaps a French autoloader. It just needs that Fock to go backwards a bit more, and there he is. Okay, so a nice shot through the roof, leaves him on a very low hit points. And the Skoda pushes up, trying to do some damage to Pyro, but he pays the price for that and loses quite a bit of health doing that. So Pyro bounces the incoming round. And here we go. Got a fairly target-rich environment where we bounce the T95. That's pretty lucky. Now he's got the side of it, 705A. Pretty dangerous heavy tank as well. And reduces his health by just over 1,000 points. So that puts him up into 3.6k damage, which is turning into a good round. Definitely tier 10, that'd be your aim to get around 3.6 to 3.5 to 4k. Alright, he's got the T95 facing windows. He's got a fairly long reload, when he drops his shot low as well, on the T95 that is. Puts 1 shot through the commander's hatch and lines up the 2nd one, does the same thing. So finally getting some accuracy going. And he's also picked up a small amount of assisting damage here as well, so tracking on quite well. Now he's got an Iron Arnie there, one of the new tier 8 heavy, or medium tanks I should say, M47 pattern based. And yeah, I haven't done a tank review video on this tank yet. I might do that maybe during the Christmas period. Hard to say at this stage, but yeah, certainly a lot of interest in it, and it's sort of getting a reputation of being better than the Super Pershing, which at tier 8 has got very strong frontal armour. This one just seems to be even better than that. Anyway, finally gets a kill on the T95. Takes that big alpha gun out of the game, but he's on reload now. He's got tanks to his right, tanks to his left. Again, what we'd say target-rich environment, and he's making the most of it, but his team isn't. So they're 3 tanks behind, although they've got a bit of a hit point lead, and a lot of that's due to Pyro's damage total here. Alright, he's found the 705A again. Takes him down to 600 hit points, so another clip and he'd be out of the game. And you can just see that burst damage that he can get to just under 1,000 hit points. I think it's 980 is the standard if you get the average roll. And he's just potentially take a blind shot in there, but no, maybe deciding not to waste his ammunition. Not sure if that's a good decision or a bad decision at this point, but yeah, we'll see. But tracking up now, 7.3k of damage. This is turning to a very good game. But still, we're in the first 5 minutes, so he's done 7k of damage in 5 minutes. That just tells you how efficient this gun is and how much you can get out of it. Might get the kill on the 705A, no, just misses out. But nonetheless, it keeps his second round and gets the kill on the Iron Arnie. So starting to reduce the enemy target. Luckily, the 703-2 decides not to focus on him, and he turns to face. Well, it's a good idea. The frontal armour on the VZ55 is pretty decent. The Leopard PTA comes around to put a hit on him, but he pays the price, gets a lot of damage taken out of him, and Pyro decides to finish him off. Just it's a very dangerous gun on the Leopard PTA, as you've seen in recent videos on the channel. Big alpha and accurate gun with good pen, even for a tier 9. Or gets a hit in return from the SU-130 PM, probably very angry that he's had some damage taken out of him. His damage rate's starting to slow a bit here, and it's just mainly due to a lack of targets. So the only targets he's got are really, in dangerous positions for him to peek over, given what's at the back. But they have managed to equalise in terms of tanks, but they are well ahead now in terms of damage. That tells us we've got a lot of damaged enemy tanks. As you can just look at the bars on against the names, it tells you basically their hit point position relative to their total hit points. That's always a good indicator. You can get this on the mini-map as well. Just press the Alt key and you'll get circles showing the sort of relative hit point advantage. Now he's got a 283 down there, gets the kill on that, takes him out, and takes another hit from the SU-130 PM. So time to get rid of that SU, I think. Snaps a shot back towards him, but no idea if that hit. Yeah, maybe keep his head down. Anyway, Pyro just calling out for a bit of assistance there. But as he's tracking over to this T-32, you can just see his reload going, and he'll have his reload up by the time he gets in a position to shoot. The T-32, or he's going to get the side of him too. One shot in, the next shot will be the kill. It's just as he turns his turret to fire, but too late. Sends him back to the garage. 9.1k. Now there's 4 tanks left. There's only 1600 hit points. Can he make 10k? It's not looking good. Maybe ruining those earlier misses, but okay, he's been spotted. That's probably the SU-130. If he gets him to fire, you're certainly going to take him out, but the enemy's starting to melt fairly rapidly, so he decides to push ahead. Yeah, takes that shot in his tracks, gets one shot in, gets a second, 9.7k, and unfortunately the others get taken out at the same time, so that's the last kill. 9.7k, just shy of 10k. Well, despite that minor disappointment, it was still a great game there from Pyro. We're not going to criticise him for not getting 10k. It's a dream for a lot of players, and not many people have reached that. But I think Pyro's already had a 10k game before, but not this tank. But in any case, 9.7, nearly 9.8k of damage and 7 kills. That's given the Top Gun and the High Caliber Award for the most damage. He's also spotted a number of tanks, so that's given him the Scout medal. Now he did get some assistant damage there, 843, so combined damage was over 10k, which really helps his march towards the 3rd mark of excellence. Of course, he's picked up the Ace Tanker Mastery badge. So let's have a look at the team score, which will give us the relative performance. So real carry there from Pyro, really dominated the middle of the map there. 1564 base for a tier 10 is an excellent level of performance. And the next best in terms of damage, an Object 277 and a Caro 45T. So good results there for those 2 players, both tier 10s of course, but the only other 2 tanks that got over 3k. And on the enemy team, only 1 tank got over 2k, and that's the WZ-111-1-4, which is tier 9 Chinese heavy tank, getting 3.6. So good play there, Golden Cup. Yeah, really Pyro's game there, great carry from him, particularly pulling back the disadvantage they had early on in the game. So he's fired 30 shots, 26 hits, so those 4 misses, one of them would have given him his 10k, and I'm not going to keep harping on that. It's not really fair. 23 pens out of that. Some were some pretty risky ones, of course, but and over a fair bit of distance. Didn't have any bonuses running, so no personal reserves and none of the holiday ops bonuses there to see. So running a full premium load of ammunition, although he didn't have to pay for consumables, that's cost him a fair bit, and he's ended up with a loss of 53k. But in the challenge to get to your third mark of excellence, you do have to make some sacrifices, and this would be one of them, and you'd certainly make that up by playing in the lower tiers, particularly the tier 8 premiums, and that's why you see a lot of them in the game, to be honest. Alright, so a great game there from Pyro. I think it looks like his maximum result, although it's in my replays to try and get the result, because what replays is playing up with file formats, which is strange, accepting some versions from this game and some they won't accept. But I'm pretty sure that's Pyro's max on the tank. But great game there anyway. If you like the video as well as the game, please give it a thumbs up. It certainly helps getting it more exposed to more people. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please consider doing that. We'll add more great content to follow. Thanks very much for watching.